By popular demand, we're going to talk about narcissists today. I'm sure that most people have experienced contact or relationship with a narcissist. Maybe it's confusing to you. I'm going to eliminate the confusion today. I have firsthand experience, so I can relate to this subject. All right, I'm going to answer your questions about how to deal with a narcissist. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. You know, when you get to this point in life where you become very accepting and comfortable and you realize that you're not here to change anything except for this. In other words, whatever you do here will reflect out there and affect everyone else. We're going to talk about narcissists today because what happens is when you go into that space and you understand, if you saw my video, no matter how much you want the duck to be an elephant, a duck's a duck. And an elephant's an elephant, so love both. And if you don't want to be with a duck, go be with an elephant. In other words, what are you doing with a narcissist? Now I'm going to talk about narcissists. I have firsthand experience with this. Now, they're not bad people. In fact, some narcissists are amazing because they want to please. They have to be loved. They have to be adored. They have to be, many times, the center of attention. They have to be the smartest and the richest and the best, right? Not all of them come in all those categories, but narcissists generally are self-serving people. Why? They are deeply hurt. Somewhere inside, and if you look at every narcissist, there is a backstory that tells them that they're not good enough, or they have great rejection or trauma in their lives that maybe not be so apparent to you, but to them it ran deep. And therefore they have a protection system out here. They have to be that wonderful, accepted, brilliant person that they didn't feel they were, or still don't feel that they are. And so they put this facade out there when there's actually great, deep insecurity in here. So a lot of times what they will do, this was the case with me, they will appear to be perfect, wonderful people, which is a little scary because you look at that and you think, how long can somebody keep that up, right? It's okay to be human because we're all going to eventually show that anyways. That's why we came here. But what they will do is, as long as they're getting what they want from their audience, you know, that aren't you wonderful, and they can reinvent themselves with new people, by the way. The new person doesn't know the history or the bad stuff about them, or that they're actually human. And so they, a lot of times, will seek those new audiences and new adoration. But deep down, they can never get enough. They can never be adored enough, or smart enough, or rich enough. And the perfect relationships that they go into, they will absolutely adore you and flourish, shower you with everything, until which time you no longer serve a purpose for them. Why? Because then they have to keep that up. And so once everybody knows that, oh, they're this amazing person, what's next? It's really tough to keep that up, so they have to recreate new audiences, and then you sort of get, pushed over here. So it's not about you, but here's my question is, first of all, why would you want to change that person? Second of all, why are you with that person? Now, I had to look at myself, and I realized, wait a second, this person, for all intents and purposes, appears to be the most amazing, kind, wonderful, giving, genuinely did all these things person. But the intentions behind all of that is what I found out later on were not genuine. They had let's just say, a giving was not just giving for giving's sake. It was giving for something else. In other words, I'm going to give so that I get adored. Accolades, awards, isn't he wonderful? And that's exactly what their intentions are. There has to be something they're getting from it. Now, as far as emotions go, narcissists generally, I'm not saying they don't love, I'm sure they feel that they're loving someone. Narcissists generally will not get too deeply emotionally attached to anybody because they want control of their entire situation. And if they fall in love and they're too emotionally tied to somebody, they will feel like they've lost control. In other words, they're going to be driven by emotions over their needs to be, their need and needs to be something, this perfect image, this amazing person. And the thing is, you, as the recipient of what's going on and knowing what those intentions are, can look like the bad guy sometimes because this person puts on such a great front that nobody knows what's going on in the back end. Now, my question to you is, what are you doing with this person? So I had to look at myself and say, what part of that was I attracted to? Well, it was not difficult to be attracted to somebody who treats you like gold and is always kind to you. There was never abuse. There was never anything that was truly negative other than no depth of the relationship, and that everything revolved around the glorification of this person. And again, you're the best thing in the room until which time they need attention from everything and everybody. Therefore, they will go and try and get that constantly. So you can see it all you want. So you have to ask yourself, once you understand what's going behind the narcissist's mind, why are you still there? And so I was very relieved when my relationship parted company on very good terms. Very, very good terms. There was no drama or stress. Well, we went through some stress, of course, with moving and all those things. But that was a step for me that was so positive. It allowed me to go to the next part of my life where the focus was me. Me and what I'm giving in the way that I wanted to give, which didn't require something back. And so I was allowed to explore myself, because the question I have for you, if you've ever been with a narcissist or are with one, is if you're giving to try and get that love and get whatever, you're no different than the narcissist. You're no different than them. Why? Because you're wanting them to love you and do certain things, and you're trying to get those accolades or whatever it is from that person. So wanting them to change, you are exactly like the narcissist. They want everybody else to love them. They want things a certain way, and that's the ego. Your intentions are no different. I want them to love me, and how do I change the narcissist? I get comments sometimes like this, and I ask them, why would you want them to change? And once you have this information, you know what they are, you know it's a duck, then you need to be with an elephant. You will never turn the duck into an elephant. All right, go watch that video. Acceptance. Acceptance means that, this was my experience. What did I learn from this? And so now, if I don't want to be with somebody who's self-serving, who doesn't really deeply love me, who's always going to choose the public appearance and all this other stuff over me, there's never really going to look out for me when it comes to it, except for if they, get the attention they need. Why would I want to be with that? I deserve more, and you deserve more. And so when you're away from it, and you'll feel relieved, you realize maybe you were attracted to that fairy tale wonderfulness until you find out it's not real. Because on planet Earth, things happen. Things happen. And so that's when you're going to find out who this person is, and yourself. How are you rolling with it? Are you saying, okay, we're going through something difficult, or maybe you've lost your job or whatever, and you just say, okay, we're a couple. This is going to make us tighter. We're going to work through this even more. A narcissist won't do that. They will dump the situation and move on to whatever is great. And they seek whatever it is they seek. Many times it could be financial and status, right? So they'll want to be with somebody who gives that to them. There's no depth in that. So they're deeply hurt people. We think of narcissists as these, evil people that, they're narcissists. They're like, they're hurt. The bullies are the hardest ones to understand, because Why do you think they would pick on somebody else? Because they're feeling so incredibly vulnerable and insecure themselves that they feel that if they pick on people and that people are afraid of them, that they can, hide all of that. And it works. People think they're powerful and strong, but they're not. They're the more deeply hurt people. Bullies are the most insecure people walking the planet. They're always fighting for power and control. This is what happens in our governments, right? They're always feeling like they have to do something new to control whatever's going on out there to show that they're in charge. And so narcissists are the same. So I don't look at them as evil people at all. I look at them as people who obviously, if you've ever dated one, are great teachers. But if you stay with one, then there's something else going on there. And your ego is attracted to that false perception that they're creating, that you may be be a part of. And that makes you a little bit like a narcissist too. You need all of this. And you need them. They must love me. I get this all. How do I get somebody to love me? And I'm telling them, get your act together. And then you'll find the right person who loves you for exactly who you are. And no matter what you go through, will be there for you and with you. And that's the way things should be in healthy relationships. If it's not, it's coming from you. Because whoever you're with, you chose. And the more information you have on them and the more you stay with that, the more you have to look at yourself and say, what must change here? Because why would I stay with that if I know it's unhealthy? So, narcissists are just sad little and sad inside. Vulnerable children inside, hurt. They'll never, ever get what they need to feel good about themselves. It's a never-ending battle until they realize that they don't have to fight for that and that it's okay to not get the credit or be the amazing person in the room all the time. Amazing comes when you let that go. If you're trying to manipulate a relationship, you really have to take a look at yourself and ask why. And we all have free will. You cannot make somebody love you. And the other thing about that too is if you are behaving in that manner and wanting to manipulate somebody else, especially in an unhealthy relationship, you're no different than the institutions and the governments who do that to us. Or, any kind of institution or organization that tells everybody they have to behave a certain way and tries to control that behavior. That's really ego-driven stuff. That's what keeps us in separation and density and stress and anxiety, is not being able to be ourselves and be loved for that. There's always somebody that wants us to change, tells us how we should and shouldn't act. It doesn't feel good, does it? So if you don't like that, don't do it to somebody else and ask yourself why you need somebody else to change for you. Why? That is a total egotistical, narcissistic mindset. So that might be why you're with that person. Now, when I found out that my relationship was never going to change and that even though this person was just a lovely person, that the depth of them was, like this, and that no one can satisfactorily live with that. And that the release of that, and I had a wonderful time, the release of that was just like an elephant getting off of my chest, and I had never felt more free. And after that, I felt like I could do anything, because what happens is if you're with a narcissist, you have a tendency to give and give and give because you want to satisfy them, right? And you realize you never can. It's never going to be enough. And so you'll sacrifice your own interests and all of your, let's just say, goals or whatever it is you're doing for them, because in their mind, they're more important. Really more important than you. And so therefore, everything that you desire, the only reason they might support something is because they're going to get something from it, right? It's always about them. So don't be confused by that, and ask yourself what kind of life you're living and why you're attracted to this and why you're not leaving it if you're in a bad situation, an unsatisfactory situation, what you can learn from it and why you're afraid to leave it. And it's always about us. It's never about them. Because again, if you go into something negative and you find out it's negative and you stay in it, you have to take a real deep look, whether it's a job, a relationship, anything. When you continue on, you haven't mastered the program. And you're going to stay here and you're going to keep, you always use Pac-Man, you're going to keep getting eaten at the same spot, disintegrating and starting all over again. And you know what's coming. You know that little guy's going to come out and eat you, and you're not doing anything to change it. Right? And I talk about portals. Portals will open up. There might be a door that opens up. And you got to take it this time. An opportunity will open up, and it's going to be different than just you making choices every day. A portal is a massive opportunity that says, this aligned for me, and it's open, and it may close. They always have time periods because they're aligning with you. It's like the game. Okay, we're going to have the treasure chest show up. Once you leave the treasure chest, it doesn't keep showing up. It's here, and you know where it is. You might have to go back and get the treasure chest. That's what portals are. So when you have an opportunity, take a real good hard look at that. And if you have an attachment to anything that's negative or doesn't serve you in the most healthy fashion, you and others, including children especially, you got to take a real good look here. It's always us. We're always creating that out there. And we attract exactly what we are in alignment with and what we should learn from. So some of you say, no, I'm not in alignment with that. And I'll say, okay, well then once you find out, then it's time to move on. I hope this was helpful. Please subscribe. This was a very different video today, but it is a big subject. There are a lot of people like that out there. There are people walking around in fear. Now, if you're still in fear, come on over to Manifest Anything. It's free down here. I have a masterclass called Move Past Fear. It's like 2 hours. And I have a major e-course called Breakthrough Fear. It really digs deep into why you would do certain things, or why you're afraid, or why you continually struggle with certain areas of your life, from finances to relationships to everything, right? Really digs deep into all of that without analyzing. But Move Past Fear, a 2-hour masterclass, could rock your world. It could change everything. So come on over, sign up. These are free. I have 15 videos here. That's going to go away. I'm going to pull that training out and put it in the Move Past Fear training at some point soon. And you've got all the tools. It's your journey, your life, your experience, and all the lessons that you gain from it are yours to master. These are free videos for anybody who wants to go and do something for you that helps the planet. Online businesses, income online, working from home, getting new skills, learning. This is school. It's awesome. But you have all the tools and the trainers and everything to create that business. You don't just learn it and like you go to college and then you're out there. You're there and then they set everything up for you and with you. You become an online business owner. That's what I did, right? And it changed my life. And none of that would have happened had I stayed in that relationship. And it was good for what period of time it was. And so you move on. And you bless it. And you bless that person too for the lessons you learned. It's all good. Again, please subscribe and share these anywhere you want. You can post them. And I hope to see you in the next video. Be safe out there. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.